He said to him, why does she come from the door of your house? Go to her door, she can sit down at her door while you stand at her door and just talk to her there. There's no yelling involved. It's more mild, it's more comforting for her. You know, her salt is awrah. She can be heard by people. The whisper carried on. The arrow found its mark. The heart is growing darker and darker and darker. And when it grows darker, what happens, Ya Mustafa? The faith is becoming lesser. And when the faith gets lesser and lesser, what happens then? You are subjected to any evil after that. Anything can happen to you. So he came from his door, went to her door, she sat there, he stayed there all day talking to this creature. And then when night fell, he went back home, locked the door and worshipped therein. See, the thing behind this is, what did he do every time he left this sin that he committed? He went back home and worshipped. Worshipped whom? Allati wal Uzza, the cow, or Buddha? He worshipped Allah Ta'ala. And the shaitan could not bear or tolerate him worshipping the one that created him. So he's trying to lead him with the sharpest arrow, and the sharpest arrow is what? Committing shirk. Is he going to lead him to that? Let us see. He found his position. Arrow number 5 has found its mark. The heart is growing darker. The faith is coming weaker. He's becoming less devout to his Lord. He's felt comfortable talking to her on a daily basis. When night falls down, he goes back home and worships therein. The shaitan comes back to him. When he's talking to her this time, he adorns her. He beautifies her. He makes her look sparkling. That's what shaitan does. He sparkles, he adorns and beautifies the sin, the haram, especially ladies, so you can fall into the major predicament. So he beautified her, he adorned her, a word from him, a word from her. Ta'barini, ya ta'barni. Smile here and a smile there. Ya habibi, ya habibti. What happens then? He kissed her. He kissed her and ran back home. Astaghfirullah, what have I done? He locked the door and did he play his Nintendo? He worshipped therein. So he's still worshipping Allah Ta'ala regardless of what he's doing. These are sin, yes, but they're considered not as major as ultimate sin, which is shirk. So, when he felt comfortable with this, Shaitan returned to him and he beautified her more, he adorned her more. He made her look more appealing and more appealing and more appealing until the unthinkable, the detestable, the distasteful, the immoral, the disgusting, scummy, filthy, abominated act of sexual intercourse partook. That is destruction. That is destruction. He got her pregnant and she had given birth, or she gave birth to his baby boy. He ran back home, locked his door, what have I done? And worshipped therein. He's still a believer in Allah Ta'ala. Even despite he did what he did, but he still believes in the Lord Almighty. Satan comes to him. What have you done? Do you realize what sin you have committed? Satan whispering now. Do you realize that if her brothers come now and see that she has given birth to your son, what they would do to you? He thought and thought and thought. Satan said to him, you have to kill that child. You have to kill that child in order to conceal the affair. He said, yes, that makes logic. And then immediately he came back and said, hold on. Do you think she is going to conceal the affair with you from her brothers? Do you think she's going to hide it? Do you think she's going to hide what you did to her child? Kill her too. kill her, kill the child, throw them in a ditch, and conceal the affair. He accepted the whisper. He killed her. He killed the child. He threw them in a ditch, leveled the ground, put a rock over that, and he went back home, locked his door, and worshipped therein. Didn't play PlayStation. Worshipped therein. That was arrow number 7. Now, some time went past. The brothers come back. They came back from war. Immediately they went to the house of the pious worshipper. Where's our sister? He mourned her death. He cried and sobbed. She was the best of ladies, he said. She was the best of ladies. She got sick, and that is her grave. Putting his head down and crying, as though he had nothing to do with the matter whatsoever. Totally innocent. He walked away. The brothers went over the grave, started crying, sought Allah's mercy and forgiveness for her. They stayed there days and days until they got tired, went back home and slept. Is the matter over? No, it's not over. He's still worshipping Allah Ta'ala. He will not stop attacking, invading this person until he destroys him. Yes, it's a major catastrophe, devastation, but it's not the ultimate sin. So, this time Satan goes to whom? Goes to whom? To the dead? No, the dead is dead. Khalas. He cannot whisper to them no more. What they done, they did. Khalas. He went to the brothers, the 3 brothers. Starting with the oldest brother, disguised as a traveler. He came to him and said, in their dream, what happened to your sister? The oldest brother said exactly what the pious man had stated and how he had shown them her grave. Then Satan said, while I was dreaming, he is a liar. This pious man is a liar. He got her pregnant. She gave birth to his son. He killed them both and buried them both behind the door in the house she was staying to the right of the entrance. Then he went to the middle brother, told him exactly the same story. Then to the youngest brother, told him exactly the same story. All of them had the same dream. They woke up in the morning being surprised, extremely surprised and amazed by what they saw. They told each other, and they were in a state of shock. The oldest brother said, it is only a dream. It's only a dream. Don't worry about it. It is only a dream. Don't worry about it. Ignore it. The youngest brother said, no, I will not ignore it until I investigate the matter for myself. I will not leave it until I go to that place I saw in my dream. So they all agreed to go together. They went there, entered the place where the sister was staying, searched for the place described to them in their dream, and after searching, yes, they found exactly where they were told, the grave of their sister and her son. They immediately went to him. While he was worshipping, they stopped him and said, what happened to our sister? He confirmed every single point that happened to her sister as they saw in their dream. They grabbed him, placed him on a cross to crucify him. But before they can crucify him, see, he's still a believer, is he not? He's a believer still. Who comes to him? His companion. His good companion. His evil companion. Fa'ala. May Allah keep us far away from him. He comes to him and says, I'm your companion. I'm your companion. I am the one that tempted you with the lady until you fornicated with her, and then she became pregnant, and then she gave birth, and then you killed them and threw them in the ditch. No one can save you today except me.